Everyone in Manhattan's financial district knew Adrian White. The CEO of X Corporation had a legendary executive assistant. Daniel was ruthlessly competent. Adrian took him everywhere. Whispers suggested they were more than colleagues. An alpha and an omega together daily fueled speculation. Only company insiders knew the truth. Adrian had a revolving door of lovers. Daniel remained a constant, professional fixture. The company had a progressive policy on office romance. There was even a generous couples benefits package. Daniel was strikingly handsome. He maintained a cool, reserved demeanor, but he was known for his quiet kindness. He had not been on a single date in 7 years. An unwritten rule protected him. No one was to pursue the CEO's assistant. Any potential suitor found themselves suddenly reassigned. They usually ended up at the Midwest branch office. Adrian simply refused to let his assistant date. "Your relationships would be a distraction," Adrian had stated. He explained how dating would divert Daniel's focus. He could no longer be on call 24/7. Daniel had clenched his fists. He asked what he was supposed to do about his heat cycle. Adrian had simply replied that he approved Daniel's leave. He already tolerated a few days without his assistant monthly. He would not tolerate the scent of another alpha in his office. Adrian also worried about potential complications. He mentioned the hassle of approving paternity leave. Daniel's patience had finally snapped. He told Adrian to attend the evening gala by himself. Then he walked out of the office. A junior assistant, Leo, knocked on the door moments later. He reported that Daniel had packed his things and left. Adrian calmly asked for the date. Leo confirmed it was the 18th. Adrian nodded, understanding. Daniel's heat was due. This explained his uncharacteristic temper. He instructed Leo to approve a day and a half of leave. He also rescheduled a 9 o'clock meeting for the following day. Leo felt a pang of sympathy for Daniel. He also dreaded the evening ahead. Managing Adrian's lovers at events was Daniel's expertise. Leo knew asking for guidance was pointless. Adrian would just tell him to call Daniel. Daniel went home fuming. A text from Leo confirmed his leave was approved. He was both annoyed and resigned. Adrian tracked his cycle more accurately than he did himself. This was not the gesture of a caring boss. After 7 years, he knew Adrian's true nature. Adrian was pragmatic to a fault. His phone rang. It was Adrian. He needed his navy blue tie. Daniel calmly gave him the location. It was in his private office closet, the second cabinet from the left, hanging on a black suit. Daniel added a final instruction. He told Adrian to ask Leo for such things in the future. He was now officially on leave, or Adrian could simply wire him Leo's pay for the month. Then he hung up. As a boss, Adrian was technically excellent. He scheduled regular health checkups for Daniel. All suppressants and blockers were the most expensive kind. The company paid for everything. Scent-blocking collars were updated with every new model. Adrian was demanding but generous with salary and bonuses. He was also a charismatic and handsome alpha. He cared for his staff's professional well-being. It was impossible not to feel a slight attraction. But whenever Daniel felt a flicker of warmth, Adrian extinguished it. He remembered an incident from his 3rd year. A week of non-stop work had landed him in the hospital. Adrian rushed in that afternoon with a large fruit basket. His face was etched with deep concern. He had grasped Daniel's hand tightly. He asked how Daniel could let himself get sick. Daniel was surprised by the gesture. He told Adrian it was nothing serious. He reminded him about an important afternoon meeting. Adrian's expression grew even more earnest. He said nothing was more important than Daniel's health. He needed Daniel to work for the company for 50 more years. Then he produced Daniel's laptop from behind his back. He asked if Daniel would be able to work the next day. Daniel stared at him blankly. He confirmed that he could. That day, Daniel understood everything perfectly. Adrian's meticulous care was about utility. He was Adrian's most efficient tool. So Adrian ensured he never got sick, marked, or pregnant. Daniel had grown accustomed to the office rumors. People often called him the office wife. The unofficial title did grant him certain privileges. He began preparing for his impending heat. He made his bed. He arranged his comfort items. He took a pheromone synthesizer from the medicine cabinet. The synthesizer contained Adrian's exact pheromone profile. Adrian had insisted on it. He claimed other alpha scents would disrupt his own focus. Modern scent blockers were 98% effective. Adrian remained fixated on the remaining 2%. Daniel opened the supply cabinet. He realized his personal blockers were gone. Luckily, he was at home. He could buy more tomorrow and expense them. He reached for his personal massager. As he was about to begin, his phone rang. It was Leo. Daniel answered with a. He said that if this was about another missing tie, he would get Leo's pay docked. Leo's voice was breathless and panicked. He told Daniel that Mr. White was gone. Daniel felt a surge of pure rage. He asked Leo if he was serious. He told him his pants were already off. Leo apologized profusely. He said a beta like him couldn't stop a determined alpha. Adrian's date for the gala was his current lover. She had drugged him during his heat. She hoped to trap him with a pregnancy. Everyone knew Adrian White never marked his lovers. No relationship of his lasted longer than 4 months. He was rich, handsome, and an exceptional alpha. Many people wanted to marry him. Leo had once asked Adrian why he avoided serious relationships. Adrian claimed love and marriage were inefficient. He said they interfered with work. He had no issue with his employees dating each other. They could just substitute overtime for date nights. This statement had earned him a sharp glare from Daniel. Adrian was furious about being drugged. A media scandal would be difficult to contain. He would never go to his lover's place. The idea of marking an omega and paying child support was a nightmare. His first instinct was to find Daniel. Daniel would know how to fix this. Daniel, meanwhile, had pulled his pants back on. He was still on the phone with Leo. He instructed him to find the woman and identify the drug. He also ordered a complete media blackout. He told Leo to check all security footage. He had to find Adrian immediately. Daniel's own heat was starting. His legs felt weak. He couldn't leave his apartment. He told Leo he was on his own. Just then, he heard a sound at his front door. On the phone, Leo heard a loud crash. Then came a muffled grunt of pain. He frantically asked if Daniel was okay. Daniel's voice was strained. He told Leo not to worry. Adrian was with him now. He said he would call back later. Then the line went dead. Daniel had barely closed his door when his phone was knocked from his hand. A powerful alpha body pressed him against the wood. Hot breath ghosted across his neck. Adrian was like a large hound, inhaling his scent. He licked and bit at Daniel's collarbone. He murmured about how good Daniel smelled. Daniel's scent was like ripe peaches. It was usually subtle. During his heat, it became rich and intoxicating. It reminded Adrian that he had barely eaten at the gala. Daniel tried to maintain his composure. He asked Adrian to calm down. He questioned if Adrian even knew who he was. But his own body was betraying him. The pheromone synthesizers he used were Adrian's scent. Now, enveloped in the real thing, his legs gave out. The aroma of black tea was overwhelming. Daniel's mind grew hazy from the pheromones. His body craved the alpha's touch. Adrian's mouth found his. Their kiss was scorching. A large hand slipped under his sleep shirt. It pressed firmly against his heated skin. Adrian's voice was a low growl. He commented on how wet Daniel was. He unbuttoned Daniel's shirt with practice speed. Before Daniel could process it, he was completely naked. The cool door against his bare chest made him shiver. He mumbled, tugging on Adrian's sleeve. He asked if they could at least go to the bed. His words were cut off as he was lifted into the air. Adrian swept everything off the bed onto the floor. Pills and devices clattered loudly. Then he gently placed Daniel onto the mattress. Daniel made one last attempt at reason. He noted that Adrian did not seem entirely coherent. He asked him to be gentle. It was his first time. Resistance was futile. He decided to embrace the situation. Making love with a living, breathing alpha was a new experience. It was his first in many years. He was both thrilled and terrified. He had secretly loved his callous boss for a long time. Sleeping with Adrian couldn't be a total loss. Adrian looked down at his vulnerable assistant. He agreed to be gentle. Then he asked for help with his tie. Pressed beneath him, Daniel tearfully fumbled with the knot. He noticed it was a khaki-colored tie. He cursed through his sobs. He demanded to know why Adrian could never find the blue one. He had heard rumors about Adrian's skill in bed. They always came from his former lovers. For some reason, they all believed Daniel and Adrian were involved. They would share intimate details of their time with the CEO. Tonight, Daniel was experiencing it firsthand. Perhaps it was the drug. Adrian was mostly silent. He just kissed him relentlessly. He kissed every inch of Daniel's skin. Daniel had never received such affection. He didn't know how to react. He just clung to Adrian's half-open belt. Adrian shrugged off his suit jacket. He unbuttoned his shirt and tossed it in a corner. Daniel felt a pang of worry. He mumbled that the shirt was expensive. He wondered how he would explain the stains to the dry cleaner. Adrian did not answer. When he finally entered him, Daniel forgot all about the shirt. At first, Adrian whispered soothing words. He promised it wouldn't hurt. Soon, all promises of a gentle first time were forgotten. The bed frame knocked rhythmically against the wall. He had never realized how delicious his assistant could be. Daniel was always so prim and proper. Beneath the crisp white shirts was an alluring body. The last time Daniel had cried in front of him was 6 years ago. After that, he became flawlessly efficient. He never gave Adrian another reason to criticize him. He looked adorable when he cried. Adrian stroked Daniel's stomach. He wondered aloud if Daniel would get pregnant. Daniel was breathless. He gasped that if he did, Adrian had to grant him leave. Adrian thought that wasn't a cute thing to say. Daniel's heat lasted until the next morning. Adrian made love to him the entire time. At one point, he tried to permanently mark him. He murmured about how sweet Daniel tasted. Daniel's hips felt weak. He could only cry. The sweet peach scent mingled with black tea. It filled the entire room. Adrian's breath was hot on the back of his neck. Felt dangerous. Daniel covered his neck with his hand. He said a permanent mark was out of the question. His job would become impossible. He wondered how a sober Adrian would handle it. But Adrian's eyes were like a puppy's. He gazed at him with a wet, pleading look. He promised to bite gently. Just one little bite. Daniel's resolve crumbled. A temporary mark would fade in a few weeks. With a collar, no one would notice. He agreed to just one bite. He warned him against a permanent bond. He hissed in pain as Adrian's teeth sank in. Finally, Adrian fell asleep. Daniel carefully climbed out of bed. He called Leo. He ordered him to pick up Adrian immediately. He told him to take yesterday's clothes to the dry cleaner. If Adrian asked, he was to say Adrian got sick on himself. He should wake up in the car. Leo's voice was trembling. He asked if Daniel was all right. Daniel's reply was clipped. Blockers. Morning after pill. You drive here yourself. If a third person finds out, you're dead. Leo's voice was full of awe. He asked if Daniel had finally become the boss's wife. Daniel hung up the phone. He saw Adrian out and then collapsed into bed. The heat had drained all his energy. Cleaning up after his boss was exhausting. Being an assistant was a difficult job. When he woke up, his phone had dozens of missed calls. They were all from Leo. He called him back. Leo answered in a panic. He asked why Daniel hadn't picked up his phone. Daniel explained that his phone was on silent. Only Adrian's calls had a ringtone. He rubbed his sore waist. He remembered taking the pills but not showering. Dried fluids were now crusty on his legs. He told Leo to get to the point. He was in a very bad mood. Leo spoke quickly. He confirmed the lover had drugged the wine. They had the substance analyzed. The side effects were minor. Caused an alpha to sync with an omega's heat. The alpha would become sober when the omega's heat ended. Crucially, they would have no memory of the event. Leo worried Daniel would be upset. He added that he would testify if needed. Daniel slapped his own thigh. He exclaimed that this was perfect. Leo was confused. Daniel ordered him to delete all their messages. Nothing had happened. If anyone else found out, Leo would lose his job. Leo agreed immediately. He added that Adrian had woken up in the car. He went straight to the office. The media had been handled. Just then, he saw Adrian gesturing to him. He told Daniel that the boss wanted to speak with him. Daniel grunted in acknowledgement. He rolled over in bed. He asked what Adrian wanted. Adrian's voice came through the phone. He asked why Daniel wasn't at work yet. His heat cycle should be over. There was a mountain of work waiting. Daniel stated that he didn't want to go. Adrian sounded concerned. He asked what Daniel did during his heat to be so tired. He wondered if there were any complications. He suggested Daniel see a doctor. Daniel took a deep breath. He told himself not to get angry with his boss. He said he was fine. He would be at the office in an hour. Adrian sounded pleased. He told him to bring a coffee. The usual. Daniel snapped. He told Adrian to have Leo buy it. Adrian was again met with a dial tone. He turned to Leo, bewildered. He asked why Daniel was so angry. Leo trembled. He announced he was going to buy coffee. Only after showering did Daniel feel the intensity of the previous night. His hips felt like they were going to fall apart. Bruises were already forming on his waist. His neck was a mess of bites. Even with his shirt buttoned to the top, the marks were visible. He had to cover them with a large bandage. He used both oral and spray-on blockers. He put on his scent-blocking collar. Only when he was sure no trace of Adrian's scent remained did he leave. He ran into Leo at the company entrance. Leo rushed over to him. He was relieved Daniel had finally arrived. He said the boss was terrifying. He was afraid he would slip up. He asked Daniel to coordinate their stories. Daniel patted his shoulder reassuringly. He asked Leo where he was going. Leo said he was delivering a file to Mr. Huang, and also getting Adrian a bubble tea. Daniel was confused. He thought Leo just bought him coffee. Leo explained that Adrian now wanted something sweet. Daniel went to the restroom after saying goodbye. He hadn't noticed on the way over. The swollen bite on his neck was chafing against his collar. It was both itchy and painful. He applied 2 more small bandages for relief. He cursed his boss for the 1,000th time. He did one final check in the mirror. Then he went to Adrian's office to report for duty. His first task was to enter Adrian's private lounge. He went to the closet and found the navy blue tie. He complained that it was right here all along. Adrian was slumped in his chair. He told Daniel he would remember next time. Daniel said he was leaving. As he turned, Adrian called him back. He asked Daniel why he was wearing a bite-proof collar and a bandage. Adrian frowned. Daniel rarely wore the collar, even during his heat. The office was perfectly safe. He asked if Daniel was afraid of him. Daniel looked down. He claimed he had just strained his neck. Adrian was clearly unconvinced. He stepped forward. Daniel stepped back. This continued until Daniel's back was against the door. Adrian leaned in close. His nose was inches from Daniel's neck. He couldn't smell anything at all. That was even more suspicious. Daniel's heats usually ended with a faint, lingering scent. Adrian had told him not to use blockers in the office. Daniel explained this heat was particularly intense. He was worried about distracting Adrian. Adrian's eyes narrowed. He knew Daniel was hiding something. He reached for Daniel's collar. Daniel flinched. Adrian was certain his assistant was afraid of him. He looked closer. He couldn't detect a scent, but Daniel's appearance was telling. His eyes were red, as if he had cried all night. His lips were swollen and bitten. A horrible thought struck him. Someone had touched his assistant. He reached to peel off the bandage. Daniel tried to stop him. He said it would reduce the medicine's effectiveness. Adrian grabbed his wrist and moved it aside. He peeled away the bandage. A collection of vivid bruises covered Daniel's pale neck. The marks disappeared down into his collar. Adrian didn't speak for a long moment. He was taking deep breaths. Daniel could see his chest rising and falling rapidly. He asked if he could unbutton Daniel's shirt. Daniel advised against it. He knew Adrian wouldn't listen. He gave up struggling. Adrian was truly angry now. The purple and blue marks were evidence of a fierce encounter. His mind was reeling. He demanded to know who did it. He removed Daniel's collar. A faint bite mark was visible on his nape. He asked if Daniel had been marked. Daniel pushed his hand away. He quickly put the collar back on. He was afraid of Adrian's reaction. He said he had taken medication. He told Adrian not to worry. This only made Adrian angrier. He demanded the name of the man. He swore he would kill him. Daniel thought about telling him the truth. It was Adrian himself. But he couldn't say that. He feigned weakness. He apologized and said he didn't want to talk about it. He asked if they could discuss it tomorrow. Adrian fell silent. After a long pause, he rebuttoned Daniel's shirt. He gently stroked his hair. He told Daniel to talk to him if he needed anything. He asked if he wanted to take some time off. This was a rare offer, but Daniel resisted the temptation. He said it wasn't necessary. He told Adrian he was going back to work. He smoothed Adrian's tie before he left. When Leo returned, he found Adrian standing by his desk. The atmosphere was heavy. He carefully placed the bubble tea on the table. He announced its arrival. Adrian suddenly exploded. He swept everything off his desk with a roar. Then he smashed a vase from a nearby cabinet. He shouted that he didn't want the tea. Leo cleaned up the floor. He sadly swept the tapioca pearls into a dustpan. He threw the vase fragments into the trash. He carefully wiped the documents and put them back. He thought that his boss was a good boss. Leo found himself running errands more frequently that day. He silently cursed his boss 3,000 times. But he was not Daniel. Only Daniel dared to openly criticize the CEO. He ran into Mr. Huang later. Mr. Huang asked if he was going out again. Leo clutched his phone and whimpered. He said this should have been an easy day. But an unexpected incident made his busy schedule even busier. Mr. Huang patted his shoulder. He told Leo to get him an iced tea. Leo agreed, defeated. Daniel was organizing Adrian's schedule. His eyelids felt heavy. He hadn't slept well. He wondered how Adrian had so much energy. He rested his head on his arms for a moment. Adrian seemed guilty. A short nap wouldn't hurt. Besides, it was all his fault. Daniel thought that if Adrian hadn't been so rough, he wouldn't be so tired. This could technically be considered a workplace injury. As he dozed off, a hand tapped his desk. He looked up. It was Adrian. Adrian didn't scold him for sleeping. He just told him to come into his office. Daniel followed him inside. Adrian told him to lock the door. Daniel locked it, then realized something was wrong. What was Adrian planning? Why did the door need to be locked? Before he could think further, Adrian pushed him onto the sofa. He started unbuttoning Daniel's shirt. Daniel asked what he was doing now. Adrian pulled a tube of ointment from a bag. He asked if Daniel was in pain. He wanted to apply some medicine. Daniel said it wasn't necessary. He could do it himself. But Adrian had already ripped off the bandages. The sudden sting brought tears to Daniel's eyes. He yelped in pain. He asked Adrian to be more careful. Adrian apologized. He promised to be gentler with the other side. He saw how much Daniel was trembling. Daniel turned his head away. The contrast of the black collar against his pale skin was striking. Adrian's throat felt dry. He slowly peeled off the other bandage. The adhesive pulled at the inflamed skin. The feeling of exposure was intense. Daniel's hands clenched the sofa cushion. The sensation reminded him of the previous night. It reminded him of how Adrian had touched him. By the time the bandage was off, his palms were sweaty. Daniel tried to shrink back, but Adrian wouldn't let him go. He squeezed a small amount of ointment onto his chest. He coaxed him to let him apply it. He promised it would feel better once he rubbed it in. The pain wasn't the issue. It was Adrian's proximity. Daniel was on the verge of tears. Normally, he would threaten to report Adrian for harassment. But this situation was different. An omega fresh from his heat could not refuse his alpha. He craved his alpha's touch more than anything. Adrian seemed to relax as well. His pheromones began to drift into the air. The rich scent of black tea enveloped Daniel. It made him feel comfortable and slow. Adrian's warm hand rested on his chest. The white cream melted into a translucent sheen. His thumb gently circled the bruised area. Daniel asked if Adrian treated all his staff this well. He was in a daze. He wouldn't normally ask such a question. Adrian, focused on the task, paused. Daniel hadn't asked him such a childish question in years. It was like when he first started. The assistant had been so dependent on him. The ointment was fully absorbed. The marks on his chest looked even more vivid. Adrian deliberately looked away. A silence fell between them. Only their breathing and heartbeats could be heard. Daniel's shirt was open. His suit jacket was wrinkled beneath him. His eyes were wet. He looked at Adrian with a hazy, submissive gaze. Adrian answered that he only treated Daniel this way. He lifted Daniel into his arms. He carried him to the sofa bed in his private lounge. He was lighter than he imagined. He asked if Daniel was tired. He told him to sleep. He would wake him at the end of the day. Daniel mumbled that the schedule was on his desk. Adrian told him to rest. He left his own jacket draped over Daniel. The alpha scent surrounded the marked omega. Daniel slept soundly, feeling safe. Adrian called Leo. He told him to double-check the schedule. Then he sent him on his way. Daniel decided to stay out of Adrian's office for the next 2 weeks. He would work from his own desk. Being near his alpha scent while trying to stay professional was too difficult. Adrian kept asking him about the incident. Daniel lied and said it was a stranger. He claimed he got a call and was ambushed when he went outside. He reassured Adrian it was only a temporary mark. He would be back to normal in half a month. Adrian's guilt only deepened after this explanation. He looked so remorseful that Daniel almost felt bad for deceiving him. He was sorting through meeting minutes. Leo returned holding a box of egg tarts. His clothes were soaking wet. He looked miserable. Daniel asked what happened. He wondered if Leo had been hit by a street cleaning truck. Leo put down the tarts. He explained he had just broken up with Adrian's latest lover on his behalf. She had thrown a glass of water on him. Daniel felt a twinge of guilt. That was usually his job. He changed the subject. He asked why Leo had bought more egg tarts. He said Adrian was eating too much sugar lately. Leo replied that these were for himself. He paused, then added a comment. He said Daniel could have one if he wanted. According to the office betting pool, Daniel would be the boss's husband within 2 years. Daniel didn't understand the reference, but he took an egg tart anyway. Leo whispered that Adrian had already marked him. He suggested Daniel could use resignation as a negotiation tactic. Daniel said he was crazy. He would never resign. The salary was too good. He planned to work for Adrian until retirement. Leo asked if he was sure. He insisted Adrian clearly liked him. He asked if Daniel didn't like the boss. Daniel finished his tart. He said talking about like in the workplace was childish. Besides, Adrian had a rule against dating subordinates. Leo insisted that in 5 years, Daniel would still be the boss's husband. Adrian was talking to Mr. Huang in his office. He asked when he ever said such a thing. Mr. Huang confirmed it. He said Adrian had said it 4 years ago in front of Daniel. He opposed office romance for himself but not for others. Adrian sighed. The thought of Daniel being marked by someone else was unbearable. He would rather have done it himself. It was like someone else harvesting his private garden. Mr. Huang asked if Daniel was that special. He suggested Adrian should just marry him. He informed Adrian about the office's Get Married discussion group for them. Adrian dismissed him. He explained that Daniel had been with him for 7 years. He had started as an intern right out of college. Adrian had trained him personally. He would never find a more suitable assistant. He subconsciously considered Daniel part of his territory. He wouldn't touch him, and no one else was allowed to either. Mr. Huang repeated his suggestion. Just get married. Adrian argued that lovers break up. He got bored of people quickly. He said business interests were more reliable than love. He needed Daniel. Daniel was happy with the high salary. It was a perfect arrangement. Mr. Huang offered a rational analysis. He pointed out that Daniel was 28. Adrian couldn't prevent him from dating forever. A boss who forbids his assistant from finding love is a jerk. Mr. Huang thought this but didn't say it. He didn't want to be transferred. Adrian stroked his chin. He mused that dating leads to marriage. Marriage leads to pregnancy. Pregnancy requires paid leave. Then there would be more leave to care for the child. Mr. Huang suggested he should have hired a beta. Betas have a lower chance of pregnancy. Adrian argued that Daniel's academic record was stellar. And he was handsome. He pointed out that he did eventually hire Leo. But Leo wasn't very bright. All he did was whimper. Leo opened the door to deliver a report. He heard this and quietly closed the door again. He whimpered that he and Daniel were different. If Daniel resigned, Adrian would beg him to stay. If Leo resigned, he would just be fired. Lately, Daniel had been avoiding Adrian's office. He always sent Leo to deliver documents. Adrian began to worry. Had he caused some psychological trauma? He felt immensely guilty. It was because of him that Daniel went out during his heat. That was why he was marked. If this was affecting Daniel's daily life, he felt even worse. Mr. Huang gave him some advice. He told Adrian to suppress his pheromones. A newly marked Omega would be sensitive to other alpha scents. He also mentioned the office rumors. Everyone was speculating that Adrian had finally made a move on Daniel. He asked if Adrian wanted to issue a clarification. Adrian waved his hand dismissively. He said to let them think that he would sacrifice his reputation to protect Daniel's innocence. Mr. Huang was speechless. This didn't seem very innocent. Their boss was a strange man. As for Daniel, he was conflicted. When he could smell Adrian's pheromones, he was afraid of losing control. When he couldn't, he missed them desperately. He was emotionally unstable. It was his first time being marked. He constantly felt like he might be pregnant. Logically, he knew the medication made it impossible. But he couldn't stop touching his stomach. He imagined a small life growing there. This emotion drove him to nest. He often found himself seeking out small, enclosed spaces. He needed things around him to feel secure. The lack of his alpha scent made him anxious. Synthesizers were a poor substitute for the real thing. In short, Daniel was desperate to scent his boss. But he couldn't get close. He was going crazy. During a meeting, Adrian looked back at his assistant. He saw a look of deep resentment in Daniel's eyes. After the meeting, he pulled him aside. He asked if Daniel was unhappy with him lately. He noticed Daniel looked pale and listless. Daniel shook his head. He said he had no complaints. But he asked why he couldn't smell Adrian's pheromones anymore. Adrian was secretly pleased. Daniel had finally noticed his subtle, considerate care. He tried to sound casual. He said it was nothing. He was just worried about other alpha scents bothering him. He told Daniel not to feel too grateful. Daniel thought about throwing a tart at him. He thanked him but said it wasn't necessary. He was used to Adrian's scent. Adrian thought Daniel was just being polite. He patted his shoulder smugly. He told him not to push himself. Daniel was speechless with frustration. He insisted he was serious. He asked Adrian to stop suppressing his scent. Adrian just waved and walked away with a confident stride. Leo approached Daniel. He asked if Daniel wanted to hit the boss. Daniel just snorted. He said he wouldn't dare. He stomped off with the meeting notes. Then he stopped. He told Leo not to buy Adrian any more sweets. He said it was time for the boss to cut back on sugar. Another assistant, Nina, sidled up to Leo. She asked if this was what a first lady acted like. She felt the atmosphere between Adrian and Daniel had changed. She asked Leo if Adrian had finally marked Daniel. Leo nervously denied knowing anything. He said he couldn't gossip about high-level matters. Nina was suspicious. She reminded Leo he was the president of their Get Married discussion group. She asked if he had switched allegiances. Leo just laughed awkwardly. Daniel had forbidden him from telling the truth. He didn't dare disobey. Angering the boss meant a pay cut. Angering Daniel meant his career was over. Most of the time, Adrian listened to Daniel. Meanwhile, Adrian's mother was pressuring him to get married. The calls were now being redirected to Leo. She constantly asked when she could expect grandchildren. Leo thought to himself that her best candidate for a daughter-in-law was right there. But he couldn't say anything. He told Adrian his mother was pushing for marriage again. Adrian docked his pay $300 for swearing. Leo was heartbroken. He had no one to turn to. He tried to drown his sorrows in bubble tea. Daniel, his last hope, was also troubled. He stood outside Adrian's office. He was trying to figure out how to ask his boss to release some pheromones. The door swung open, and Adrian appeared. He startled Daniel. Daniel quickly unclasped his intertwined hands. Adrian asked if he needed something. He reflexively wanted to touch the back of Daniel's neck. He raised his hand, then thought better of it. He pretended to brush some dust off Daniel's shoulder. Daniel hesitated. This was unusual for him. He looked up at Adrian with a pleading expression. He asked if they could speak inside. Adrian agreed. For some reason, he felt thirsty. Inside the office, Daniel felt a bit more at ease. He needed a private space. Asking his alpha boss for a whiff of his pheromones was embarrassing. He didn't want anyone to overhear. He sat on the edge of the sofa. Adrian sat down next to him. Daniel immediately stood up. Adrian looked hurt. He asked why Daniel was being so distant. He wondered if the temporary mark had made Daniel want to resign. Daniel sighed. He said it wasn't Adrian. He was just feeling sensitive lately. He couldn't stand Adrian staring at him like that. Those eyes could look at a rag with deep affection. When Adrian was being charming, he was irresistible. Adrian probably didn't even realize it. When he wanted something from Daniel, he would stare without blinking. He looked like a large dog waiting for a treat. It always made Daniel soften. He wanted to give Adrian whatever he wanted. All of Adrian's past lovers probably fell for the same trick. Even in his 30s, he had a boyish charm. Adrian told him to state his business. Daniel said there were two things. First, about the marking incident. He told Adrian not to blame himself. He chose his words carefully. He admitted that while the beginning was unexpected, he was a willing participant later on. He was old enough to be responsible for his actions. Adrian was still angry. He said the beginning was not acceptable. He demanded to know why the other man wasn't taking responsibility. Daniel felt guilty. He didn't know how to answer. He stammered that the man promised to contact him later. He had to invent a plausible excuse. Adrian was shocked. He asked if Daniel was planning to see that man again. He started ranting about the man's character. He pointed out that a week had passed with no contact. He called the man a lustful, shameless beast in human clothing. Daniel tried to interrupt. He said the man was actually quite nice. He begged Adrian to stop insulting himself. Adrian was incredulous. He warned Daniel not to be deceived by a single encounter. He said the man was probably just after his body. He declared all alphas were scoundrels. Daniel couldn't take it anymore. He reminded Adrian that he was also one of those scoundrels. Adrian insisted he was different. He would take responsibility. Daniel mumbled, hoping that was true. He quickly changed the subject. He said he had mentioned it before. He asked Adrian to stop deliberately suppressing his pheromones. Adrian asked why. He thought Daniel was averse to his scent. Daniel had prepared a speech, but it was still difficult to say. He admitted he wasn't averse. In fact, he was very used to Adrian's scent. The synthesizers he used were the same. His face felt hot. He concluded that not smelling Adrian's pheromones made him feel uneasy. Adrian asked if that meant Daniel liked his scent. Daniel conceded that was one way to put it, but he also warned Adrian not to release too much at once. It would make him dizzy. Daniel's earlobes were bright red. Adrian had an urge to touch them, but he settled for patting his head. He had forgotten he had restricted Daniel's synthesizers to his own scent. Daniel was very familiar with his aroma. He looked at Daniel seriously. He asked him not to date the other man. Daniel's body should only carry his scent. Daniel couldn't handle the atmosphere in the room. He covered his nose and fled. That damn boss. He was trying to seduce him again. Daniel gnashed his teeth. How could Adrian pat his head and ask him not to date? It was giving him mixed signals. He had a strict no-dating subordinates rule. Yet he continued to flirt. It was infuriating. What was worse was that Daniel was falling for it. He threw himself into his work. He tried to force all thoughts of Adrian out of his mind. Mr. Huang entered the office. He saw Adrian standing silently. He sniffed the air. He asked if Adrian had been displaying his feathers in here. The room was thick with his pheromones. He accused Adrian of harassing Daniel again. Adrian nodded. He said he couldn't let that other man harass Daniel. Mr. Huang asked if he was even listening. Adrian called Leo into his office. Daniel had promised not to date the other man. But Daniel was too handsome. He needed to take preventative measures. He told Leo he was allocating him a special budget. Leo's eyes lit up. He asked if the boss was finally giving him a bonus. Adrian shook his head. He was hiring a private investigator. He wanted to find the man who marked Daniel. If the man tried to approach Daniel, Leo was to intercept him. Leo thought this was insane. He told Adrian it was wrong. Adrian challenged him. He said all Leo did was whimper. Now he was refusing a direct order. He asked if Leo wanted to be fired. Leo tried to argue. He insisted he did more than just whimper. Adrian smacked him lightly on the back of the head. Leo whimpered that the boss was too mean. Mr. Huang finally intervened. He told Adrian that he was suffocating Daniel. Now he was investigating him. If Daniel found out, he would surely resign. Adrian smiled smugly. He said Daniel wouldn't resign. They had a contract. He had added a new clause last year. If Daniel resigned within 8 years, he would owe a hefty penalty. And Daniel had agreed to it. Leo was horrified. He asked about his own contract. Adrian patted his shoulder. He said Leo wasn't valuable enough for such a clause. He told him to get to work if he didn't want to be fired. Leo covered his mouth to stifle a whimper and left. Daniel slept soundly that night. He woke up and stretched. The white shirt he wore was wrinkled. Daniel was a man of routine. He always wore pajamas to bed. The only reason he was wearing a dress shirt was because it was Adrian's. He had even used his own savings to buy Adrian a new shirt. Adrian had been delighted with the gift. He tried it on and asked if it was a special occasion. Daniel smiled and said he just thought of him. He asked if Adrian could change into it now. He wanted to see how it looked. Adrian happily went to change. Daniel then sneakily took the old shirt. Stealing wasn't right, but these were special circumstances. He desperately needed something with his alpha scent, preferably something worn close to the skin. Adrian would never notice. He would return it to the closet when this was all over. He took better care of the shirt than Adrian did. He folded it neatly every morning and sealed it in a bag. He only took it out to wear at night. Daniel was a very disciplined person. His life revolved around his work and his boss. He often brought work home. Only in bed did he truly relax. Adrian's shirt was a little too big for him. The hem covered his thighs. The sleeves were too long. But Daniel loved it. It made him feel small and protected. The faint scent of black tea made him feel like he was in Adrian's arms. Sometimes he would even touch his stomach and whisper baby names. Then he would flush with embarrassment at his own foolishness. He never ironed the shirt. He was afraid the heat would destroy the scent. He just folded it carefully and put it back in its bag. At the office, Leo was already there. He was slumped over his desk. He complained that Adrian was showing off the new shirt to everyone. He griped that he bought Adrian bubble tea every day without a single compliment. Daniel chuckled. He knew Adrian could be childish, but it also made him happy. It meant Adrian cared about his opinion. Leo continued his rant. He said Adrian had hired a PI to investigate Daniel. He asked where he was supposed to find this mystery alpha. He urged Daniel to just confess. Maybe Adrian would be so happy he'd give him a raise. Daniel shook his head with a smile. Leo was so naive. He had mentored him for 4 years. The boy still didn't understand the rules. He asked Leo if he thought this was a game. Adrian gets excited about new things, but the novelty fades. Then Daniel's position would be even more awkward. Leo argued that Daniel had been with him for 7 years. The novelty hadn't faded yet. Daniel explained that was because Adrian hadn't tasted him yet, and because he was incredibly competent. That's why Adrian must never know he already had. Leo sighed at Daniel's perception of the boss, but he was still determined to play matchmaker. He asked what it would take for Daniel to believe Adrian wasn't just temporarily infatuated. Daniel didn't even look up from his work. He said 1% of the company's shares would do. Leo suggested something more realistic, like marriage. Adrian was discussing this with Mr. Huang. He said if they divorced, Daniel would get half his assets. Giving him some company shares was a much better deal. Mr. Huang couldn't believe it. He asked why Adrian was already thinking about divorce when he was suggesting marriage. Adrian explained that one must always consider all potential risks. That's why he was the CEO. Mr. Huang retorted that the only reason he was CEO was because his mother was the previous one. Adrian threatened to transfer him to the India branch. Mr. Huang immediately apologized to Capital. He urged Adrian to seriously consider marriage. He reminded him about his mother's daily texts about men having children at 30. Using Adrian's own risk aversion logic, no one was more suitable for marriage than Daniel. He even had the phone numbers of all of Adrian's ex-lovers. Adrian thought he had a point, but he didn't know what Daniel thought. Daniel was perfect in every way. From major business deals to tying a tie. He did everything flawlessly. But was it professional duty or something more? After work, Adrian called Daniel into his office. He had been unusually focused on Daniel's love life lately. Daniel was used to it. When asked about his ideal partner, he listed his criteria: ambitious, positive, and responsible. Adrian asked how he measured up. He asked if Daniel would consider dating him with the intention of marriage. Daniel glanced at his watch. Adrian told him it wasn't a joke. He was being serious. Daniel politely declined. He said if that was all, he had a lot of work to do. As he turned to leave, Adrian grabbed his arm. He demanded to know why. He listed his own positive attributes. He reminded Daniel he was rejecting the love of the CEO of X Corporation. Daniel asked if Adrian was using work time for personal matters. Adrian held him fast. He pulled him back to the coffee table and pushed him onto the sofa. He said this violated company rules. Adrian retorted that Daniel was his assistant. His personal matters were Daniel's official business. Besides, it was after hours. He pulled a platter of cherries from under the table. He poured Daniel a glass of water. He tried to make the scene feel more like a blind date. He urged Daniel to eat some fruit. Daniel picked up a cherry. He said with amusement that these were the cherries he brought for Mr. Huang that afternoon. He told Adrian to stop hiding the fruit for himself. Adrian mumbled that he had left 2 oranges for him, and Mr. Huang had eaten them. Daniel just stared at him. Adrian conceded. He promised to share next time. He adjusted his tie and cuffs. He deliberately exposed the Jaeger-LeCoultre watch on his wrist. He asked why Daniel had rejected him. He said marrying him was many people's dream. Daniel acknowledged that was true, but he had his own questions. He asked for Adrian's criteria for a spouse, and why he wanted to marry him. He was amused by Adrian's little show. He found his ostentatiousness endearing. Adrian answered without hesitation. He said it just made sense. They had known each other for years. They understood each other well, and they were both at an age to get married. Daniel argued that making sense wasn't enough. All of Adrian's past lovers had made sense at some point. If it was about longevity, understanding him, and professional competence, then those were just his duties as an assistant. In a few years, Leo might reach the same standard. He asked if Adrian would marry him then. Adrian frowned. He said Leo couldn't compare to Daniel. Daniel was different. Daniel smiled. He said any other person could eventually meet those standards. One could find an assistant that way, but marriage required someone irreplaceable. Adrian looked troubled. He admitted that Daniel's swift rejection had hurt him. Daniel's voice softened. He said it wasn't personal. He just had his own standards. He admitted it might sound childish, but he wanted his alpha to truly love him. He patted Adrian's arm reassuringly. He told him he was an excellent man. Adrian pouted. He asked Daniel not to use his nickname. He really needed to go home. Adrian laughed. He had overheard Daniel's mother using that name on the phone. He sometimes used it after work to tease him. The reaction was always priceless. He understood Daniel's point. He wasn't in a rush to get married either. But he was worried. He told Daniel that if he rejected him, he couldn't choose the other alpha. That would make him sad. And if he was sad, Daniel's salary would be sad too. Daniel just blinked. He said Adrian could let him know when he found a suitable marriage candidate. Until then, his spot would be reserved for him. This time, when he left, Adrian didn't stop him. Leo knocked on the door just as he was about to leave. He was startled by Daniel rushing out of the office. He asked why Daniel's face was so red. Daniel just gave him an awkward smile and hurried away. Leo suspected Adrian had been harassing him again. He sniffed the air. As a beta, he smelled nothing. He entered the office. Adrian was sitting at the coffee table, contemplating life. Leo approached him. He noticed the cherries. He lamented that they would go bad if not eaten soon. He popped one into his mouth. Adrian suddenly looked at him with great solemnity. Leo froze, 2 more cherries in his hand. Adrian asked if Leo would ever want to marry him. Leo was so scared he put the cherries back on the plate. He whimpered that he only ate one. He promised to replace it tomorrow. Another week ended. The assistants went out for a team dinner. Mr. Huang was paying. Leo asked Daniel if he was coming. Daniel shook his head, saying he had plans. The dinner would likely involve barbecue and drinking. He was afraid of losing control if he drank. He would rather rest at home. He calculated the dates. The temporary mark would fade next week. The lingering black tea scent on him was also much fainter. But he was reluctant to return Adrian's shirt. He had grown attached to his pajamas. He slept better with it every night. It was just one shirt. Adrian probably wouldn't notice. With that thought, he put on the oversized shirt again. He poured the synthesizer fluid into a diffuser. He left only a small night light on. The synthesizer worked quickly. Within a minute, the small room was filled with the scent of black tea. He was renting this apartment. Adrian had visited once. He had asked why Daniel didn't buy a place. Daniel had said he wasn't in a hurry, but he had a secret plan. He wanted to buy a condo in the Marina Gardens complex. The prices there were exorbitant. He had only saved enough for a down payment. He was still hesitant about when to buy. Daniel closed his eyes. He thought about what Adrian had said today. Your swift rejection hurt me. What was Adrian's expression then? It was the same as that night. The same look he had when he asked to bite his neck. A mix of pitiable and childishly charming. You taste so sweet. Just one little bite. His tone was deceptively gentle. His lips pressed against the back of his neck. He licked and kissed the spot softly. He murmured it won't hurt and don't be afraid. Then he bit down. It did hurt. Daniel had whimpered softly. Tears streamed down his hot cheeks. They evaporated almost instantly. But it was also pleasurable. The alpha's pheromones flooded into him. They filled him completely, along with the alpha himself. It made his toes curl. The scent of peaches in the air suddenly intensified. It was like the fruit had been peeled. The sweet juice and pulp were exposed. Daniel kicked off his blanket in frustration. Just thinking about Adrian had sent him into a mini-heat. He bit down on the shirt collar. He pretended he was biting his infuriating boss. This dinner was to welcome the new senior manager, Mr. Gao. People chatted and ate. Only Leo was chugging drink after drink. He wasn't a big drinker. He just got carried away in social situations. Nina tried to stop him. She told him to maintain some semblance of dignity for the new manager. Leo just giggled. He told Nina that Mr. Gao looked a lot like a famous actor. He stumbled, intending to go talk to him. Mr. Huang intercepted him and dragged him back. He warned him that harassing someone was still illegal for a beta. He shook Leo and realized he was already drunk. He asked for Leo's address to call him a cab. Leo shook his head. He slurred that if he left, Mr. Huang would get drugged. Then he would get lost and Leo would be finished. Mr. Huang didn't understand his drunken ramblings. He insisted on getting his address. But by the time the dinner ended, he still hadn't gotten it. Leo insisted he lived on a distant nebula. Mr. Huang couldn't just leave him there. He waited in the private room for him to sober up. He looked at Leo sprawled on the floor and sighed. He wondered what could possibly be troubling him. All he did was run errands. Leo suddenly sat up. He said he had plenty to worry about. He was worried about that jerk Adrian White. He wondered why he wasn't dead yet. Mr. Huang was shocked. He told Leo he was crazy for saying the boss's full name. Leo declared that Adrian wasn't human. He had promised to take him for sukiyaki. Instead, he took him for plain hot pot. Leo burst into tears. He wailed about the injustice of it all. Mr. Huang had to agree. That did sound like something Adrian would do. As he was about to comfort him, Leo jumped up. He tackled Mr. Huang to the ground. He grabbed his collar and cried. He sobbed that Mr. Huang had only lost love. He had lost his freedom. Mr. Huang was afraid for his life. He told Leo this was a society with laws. He wasn't Adrian. Leo looked down at him closely. He realized his mistake. It was Mr. Huang. Just as Mr. Huang was about to tell him to get off, he saw tears streaming down Leo's face. Leo then asked him a profound question. He asked Mr. Huang if he understood what love was. Mr. Huang tried to sit up. He said he probably didn't. Leo wailed that love tortures not only oneself, but also those around them. He cried that the flames of love were burning him alive. Mr. Huang suggested he could confide in him. Leo asked if he was serious. He said this was a secret he should carry to his grave. If he told him, Mr. Huang would suffer too. He asked if Mr. Huang could understand his pain. Mr. Huang was stunned. He asked Leo to be more specific. Leo shook his head. He said emotions were inherently messy. He told Mr. Huang to forget he said anything. But he couldn't just forget something like that. Before he could press further, Leo's head dropped onto his chest. He had fallen asleep. Mr. Huang was still reeling from the shock. After a few minutes, he realized Leo wasn't waking up. He sighed and piggybacked him out of the restaurant. He called Daniel, who didn't answer. Then he called Adrian. Adrian asked why he was calling so late. Mr. Huang hesitated. He said he thought Leo was in love with him. Adrian told him he was crazy. Mr. Huang tried to explain about the drunken confession. He decided it was too complicated to explain over the phone. Adrian said Leo was just a lightweight who acted out when drunk. Once he fell asleep, he wouldn't wake up. He called him useless. Mr. Huang voiced a long-held question. He asked why Adrian hadn't fired him yet. Adrian's tone became serious. He said Leo might not be smart and he whimpered a lot. And he was a terrible drunk. But he was family. Mr. Huang was speechless. He asked whose family. Adrian told him to stop asking questions. He gave him the address to his condo complex, Marina Gardens. He told him to call when he arrived. The next day at work, Leo looked like a ghost. He was slumped over his desk, miserably counting receipts. Daniel asked if he was okay. Leo's eyes filled with tears. He had thrown up on his cousin's wool carpet. He now owed him a month's salary. But he proudly told Daniel he had kept their secret. He had stood firm against the capitalist bloodsucker. He had not betrayed Daniel. He whimpered that Adrian had called him useless again. He had said he couldn't even handle a simple task. He hugged Daniel's waist. He pleaded that it was all for him. Hiring a PI was pointless. The culprit was Adrian himself. Daniel patted his head. He said Adrian called him useless every day. He thought Leo would be used to it by now. Leo begged Daniel to marry Adrian. As he was crying, Adrian arrived. He smacked Leo on the head. He told them to stop being so unprofessional. He demanded to know who was getting married. He warned Leo not to pressure Daniel into marriage. Leo couldn't tell him the truth. He mumbled that the future Adrian would hate the current foolish Adrian. Adrian retorted that the current him already regretted hiring him. He pushed him away. He told him to go buy him a coffee. Adrian noticed the annoying collar on Daniel's neck was gone. He smiled and leaned in closer. He asked if he could take a sniff. Daniel was in a good mood. He had just successfully rejected Adrian's proposal. He tilted his neck slightly. He said only Adrian was allowed to smell. There was no scent left. He warned him that next time, he would report him for harassment. Adrian thought that harassing his own assistant couldn't be called harassment. It was harassment with the intention of marriage. He sniffed Daniel's neck. He smelled the faint scent of peaches. And something else. His own scent. He wanted to smell more closely, but Daniel pushed his head away. He told him to stop fooling around and get to work. Daniel's ears turned red. He refused to look at him. Was it his imagination? He could have sworn he smelled black tea on Daniel. It wasn't strong, but it was there. It was tantalizing. Synthesizers only lasted for 5 hours. Daniel wouldn't use one right before work. And he never wore cologne. Adrian disliked it. So how did Daniel have his scent on him? Adrian fell into deep thought. Had something happened that he didn't know about? Leo bowed deeply to Mr. Huang. He apologized for his drunken behavior. He offered him a bubble tea and 2 egg tarts from KFC. Mr. Huang sighed. He said he was still full from last night. Leo could have them. Leo declared he would punish himself with a drink for his rudeness. He stabbed a straw into the bubble tea. He said everything from that night should be forgotten. Mr. Huang said he couldn't just unhear it. He couldn't ignore someone's feelings of love. Leo was stunned. He couldn't remember clearly. Had he revealed Daniel's secret that night? He asked if he had told him everything. Mr. Huang said he hadn't spelled it out, but he understood the gist. Leo was devastated. He begged to know if Mr. Huang had told the boss. He pleaded with him not to. Mr. Huang said he hadn't yet. He was trying to protect Leo's dignity. He asked if Leo was afraid of it getting out. Leo nodded frantically. He said it had to remain a secret between them. Was unrequited love always this painful? Mr. Huang felt a surge of sympathy for the poor boy. He couldn't even tell anyone about his crush. He couldn't help but ask. He asked if Leo had any requests. Leo was confused. He thought since Mr. Huang was keeping his secret, he should be the one making demands. Mr. Huang was offended. He said he would never use this to blackmail him. He asked if Leo thought he was the same as Adrian. He patted Leo's shoulder. He told him to have more confidence in himself. He told him not to be so humble. Leo was moved to tears. Mr. Huang was such a good person. He was even encouraging him. From that moment, their revolutionary friendship was forged. They were now comrades in the same trench. Adrian received a text from Mr. Huang. Keep Leo's crush on me a secret. He looked up at Daniel. He asked if Daniel knew that Leo had a crush on Mr. Huang. Daniel was surprised. He said Leo had hidden it well. Now, Leo's entire family knew he had a crush on Mr. Huang from work. Adrian always took Daniel to unavoidable social functions. Daniel was good with people and remembered everyone's name. Leo, on the other hand, tended to get drunk and make a scene. Daniel tied a perfect Windsor knot for Adrian. He looked focused and gentle. Adrian's favorite part was when he finished. Daniel would tilt his head slightly to inspect his work. Then he would compliment him on looking handsome. He was good at it from the very beginning. He learned quickly and never made the same mistake twice. That's why Adrian offered him a full-time contract after only a month as an intern. At the time, Adrian had just taken over his mother's company. He was only 25. The board of directors constantly gave him trouble. Daniel was 21 and an Omega. He often faced difficulties. People mocked their pairing. A young boss with an intern assistant. They said X Corporation was doomed. They endured constant scrutiny and endless toasts. One night, they stood on an overpass, sobering up in the cold wind. Daniel, fresh out of college, wasn't as resilient then. His eyes were red as he cried. He apologized to Adrian. He said anyone else would have handled things better. He asked why Adrian had chosen him out of so many experienced candidates. Adrian admitted he didn't have much experience either. They were a team of rookies. He patted Daniel's head. He said he believed they were both smart. Experience comes with time. In the future, they would be better than all of them. In Adrian's grand vision, Daniel was his first draft pick. As the company grew, the old guard was replaced by Adrian's new team. 7 years had passed. The person who had been with him the longest was still that same assistant. The one who had stood with him on that overpass. Adrian would sometimes joke with him. He'd say that if Daniel ever left, the company would collapse. Daniel would just laugh. He'd say as long as Adrian wanted him, he would stay. He could be his assistant for life. They were more like friends than boss and subordinate. Adrian never thought about getting married. He never thought about Daniel getting married either. He wished they could stay like this forever. Daniel reminded him about his coat. He asked what Adrian was thinking about. Adrian snapped out of his reverie. He handed his coat to Daniel. He said he was just thinking about when Daniel was younger. Daniel followed a step behind him, holding the coat. He asked if Adrian was calling him old. Adrian said no. He was just remembering the rumors about Daniel being his mistress. He said he should have just admitted it back then. They could have made the rumors true. Daniel blushed and told him not to be ridiculous. Adrian insisted he wasn't. He said Daniel was very cute back then. Daniel said he was just immature. He reminded Adrian that the gala was about to start. He told him not to drink too much. There was a meeting the next morning. The gala was mostly networking. Daniel whispered names and titles in his ear. He kept him informed about unfamiliar guests. He performed his duties perfectly. There was only one problem. When Adrian went to have a private discussion, he sent Daniel to wait in the car. Daniel took his coat with him. When Adrian came out later, the night wind was chilly. He opened the car door. Daniel was sitting in the back. The car's heater was on. He had had a little to drink. His face was flushed. He was asleep, clutching Adrian's coat. It was Daniel's privilege not to sit in the front. He always sat with Adrian. Adrian called his name softly. Daniel's eyelashes fluttered, but he didn't wake. He must have been exhausted lately. Adrian smelled a hint of alcohol on him. It mixed with his fruity scent. The warmth of the car carried it to his nose. It was sweet. Adrian, slightly tipsy himself, leaned over. He kissed Daniel's lips. Daniel offered no resistance. He let Adrian suck on his tongue. He told the driver to take Daniel home first. The driver nodded. He let Daniel's head rest on his shoulder. He closed his eyes and dozed off. He thought about how he shouldn't have dismissed the rumors back then. Daniel being his mistress sounded pretty good. They arrived at Daniel's building, but he was still asleep. Adrian didn't move. The driver didn't dare say anything. After about 10 minutes, Daniel woke up. He had slept very well. He stretched and opened his eyes. He was leaning against Adrian. The coat he was holding was wrinkled. He asked Adrian why he was still there. Adrian said they were at his place. He couldn't just leave while he was asleep. Daniel apologized frantically. Time with the boss was considered work time. He had slept for so long, and he had wrinkled his coat. He asked why Adrian hadn't woken him up. Adrian said he looked too peaceful to disturb. People would say he was mistreating his assistant. The driver pretended he couldn't hear anything. He told Daniel to keep the coat and have it ironed for tomorrow. Daniel agreed. He said he would see him tomorrow. He tried to open the door, but the handle was on Adrian's side. He would have to get awkwardly close to him. He asked the driver to open the door for him. Adrian stopped him. He said he would get it. What kind of boss opens the door for his assistant? But Adrian was stubborn. He walked him to his apartment door. He asked if he wasn't going to be invited in for a bit. Daniel was about to agree when he remembered. The shirt. Adrian's other shirt was in his apartment. He couldn't risk it. He quickly said it was too late. His apartment was a mess. Maybe next time. Adrian looked disappointed. As Daniel was about to offer some words of comfort, he smiled. He told Daniel that he had kissed him in the car while he was asleep. Daniel was stunned. He looked back at the car. The driver made eye contact for a second, then put on his sunglasses. He asked if Adrian was serious. Adrian just shrugged. He waved as he walked away. He dragged out Daniel's nickname in a sing-song voice. He watched the blush return to Daniel's face. Inside, Daniel stood holding the coat for a long time. His face was still hot. It was late, but he was wide awake. He hadn't dreamed. Having his alpha nearby made him sleep deeply. Perhaps it was the alcohol. He felt a strange excitement. He wanted to talk to someone. He texted Leo and asked him to come over with some drinks. Leo lived nearby. He could be there in 10 minutes. Leo had just gotten off the phone with his cousin. Adrian was wondering if Daniel had another alpha hidden in his apartment. Then he got the summons from Daniel himself. He grabbed his private stash of snacks and rode his bike over. Honestly, only Leo would come over for a drink at this hour. That was one of the things Daniel liked about him. He was a bit silly but very endearing. He started to undress. He removed the shirt stays and garter clips. He only wore these for the most important occasions. They kept his shirt smooth and his socks up. Leo covered his eyes in shock. He exclaimed that they were of different secondary genders. Daniel said he was just changing into pajamas. He grabbed a blue set, not Adrian's shirt. He also reminded Leo about his crush on Mr. Huang. Leo peeked through his fingers. He asked who told him that rumor. Daniel said it was Adrian. He poured himself a drink. He refused to give Leo any. He told him to stick to juice. He was afraid Leo would get drunk and cause a scene. Leo whined that he wasn't a lightweight. He didn't know why Daniel had called him over, but he was happy to keep him company. Daniel seemed very happy. After a few drinks, he sat cross-legged on the bed and talked. Leo asked if something had happened. He remembered there was a gala tonight. He had wanted to go, but Adrian had said no. Even though there were only two of them, Daniel gestured for him to come closer. He whispered in his ear. He said that Adrian had kissed him. Leo said Daniel was drunk. He threatened to record him and send it to Adrian. Daniel shook his head. He pointed to the fruit knife on the nightstand. He said if Leo told him, he wouldn't be leaving. Leo surrendered immediately. Daniel picked up the knife. He asked if Leo was sure. He said Adrian seemed to care about him a lot. He asked Leo who he really liked. Leo declared his love for Mr. Huang. It was a matter of life and death. He pleaded his innocence with Adrian. Then he asked if Daniel was jealous. Daniel put down the knife. He admitted he was a little bit. He was jealous of Leo. He wasn't a good assistant anymore. At first, he had been scared. Even though Adrian said Leo was just his subordinate, he was worried. He was afraid of being replaced. It was selfish. It was like a third person had entered their two-person world. His one-on-one time with Adrian was reduced. He knew it was for the good of the company. Adrian needed multiple assistants, but he still felt insecure. It was because he had personal feelings for his boss, a possessiveness that went beyond their professional relationship. He smiled and ruffled Leo's hair. He said at least Leo wasn't very clever. He wasn't a threat. He told Leo to just be a good subordinate. Leo was heartbroken. He said Daniel was very mean when he was drunk. Daniel crushed an empty can in his hand. He said he was just being honest. But he added that Leo was cute. His eyes reminded him a little of Adrian. Leo blinked. He asked how they were similar. Daniel said they both looked like puppies. They were very good at getting what they wanted. That's why he couldn't dislike him. In fact, he was a bit envious. Leo had such a great personality. He was so likable. He was clumsy and made mistakes. Adrian would complain but never really punished him. Everyone in the office seemed to like Leo. He brightened up the room. Daniel said he wanted to switch places with him. Leo was surprised. He asked if Daniel wanted to live a useless life. Daniel hesitated. He said Leo could be useless. But if he were useless, Adrian wouldn't like him anymore. He had overheard Nina talking in the break room. It wasn't just her. He often heard people say Leo was easier to talk to. They liked Leo more. He was past the age of competing for popularity. But it still bothered him a little. In the workplace, competence should matter more. But he also liked Leo. Some people just had a way of making others want to clean up their messes. Leo was surprised. He asked how Daniel could think Adrian didn't like him. He insisted he liked Daniel the most. Daniel said it was because Adrian liked competent people. He added that Leo was an exception. Leo scratched his head. He said that was because he was family. He told Daniel not to tell anyone. Adrian was his cousin. That's why he got special treatment. He said Daniel was the real exception. The whole office thought it was strange it took Adrian this long to make a move. He asked why Daniel's last name wasn't the same. He explained that Adrian took his mother's surname. He said their encounter was an accident. It was better if Adrian didn't remember. He was chattier when he drank. He asked Leo to guess why he hadn't told him. Leo said he couldn't guess. He urged him to just tell him. He explained it was because the forbidden fruit is the sweetest. Adrian's relationships were always fleeting. He didn't like being tied down. He didn't want to get married. People get selfish in love. Like his ex-lover who tried to trap him. She wanted a child to keep him. But no one could keep Adrian. He didn't want to get married. Daniel knew him best. But even he could be selfish. He was already like this before they were even dating. Assistants can't be selfish. Selfishness gets you fired. Leo hadn't realized Daniel had thought about this so much. He asked if he would really never be with Adrian. Daniel was getting tired. He wanted to sleep in Adrian's coat. But he answered the question slowly. He thought that Adrian must still like him. Otherwise, why would he tell him about the kiss? Why would he care about other alphas? Why would he do those things to him? Daniel was more ambitious than Adrian's other lovers. He wanted Adrian all to himself. So he would use marriage. Even if Adrian didn't want to, he would make him. If he tried to divorce him, he would sell company secrets to their rivals. He tapped the fruit knife. He said he only worked so hard because Adrian liked him. Leo shivered. He felt he knew too much. He could be silenced at any moment. He was glad he was useless and not a threat. Daniel suddenly asked him a question. He asked if Leo knew why he had invited him over. Leo guessed it was because he was a good listener. Daniel laughed so hard he fell back on the bed. He said it was also because Leo being tired at work tomorrow wouldn't affect his own productivity. Leo felt offended. He took the trash and went home in a huff. Adrian walked into a somber office. Both his assistants had a cup of coffee. Leo looked like he was about to fall asleep at his desk. Adrian smacked him on the back. He asked if he was catching up on sleep at work. Leo complained that Daniel was tired too. He asked why Adrian didn't hit him. He accused him of picking on the weak. Daniel said guiltily that he had kept Leo up last night. Adrian said Daniel had been with him at a business dinner. It was understandable he was tired. He asked what Leo's excuse was. He had left at 5. Leo mumbled that he was taking out the trash. Adrian told him to take himself out. He sent him to get a file from another department. He wanted it back in an hour. His favoritism was blatant. He told Daniel that if he was tired, he could nap in his private lounge. A well-rested employee is a productive employee. Leo cried out about the injustice. And Daniel still thought Adrian didn't like him enough. He was even jealous of him. And he had threatened him with a fruit knife. Adrian just smiled. He said he was the boss. He was the law. Daniel was embarrassed. He told Adrian to get to work. He told him to stop bullying Leo. Leo had already left with his coffee. He explained that he had asked him over last night. For some overtime. Adrian was not happy. He had wanted to come in, and Daniel had refused him. But he let Leo into his house. He complained that he favored Daniel, but Daniel favored Leo. Daniel asked if it was appropriate for them to be alone together. The driver had been watching. He asked if Adrian was trying to pursue him. Adrian understood. Daniel was playing hard to get. He wouldn't have been Adrian White if he couldn't see through such a simple ploy. But he played along. He said he was. He asked if Daniel was interested. As Mrs. White, his salary would be even higher. Daniel asked if he would give him vacation days. Adrian said they were talking about sacred love. Bringing work into it ruined the mood. Daniel asked if he was serious about marriage. He had 4 years of accrued vacation time. He asked if Adrian would approve his marriage leave and his paternity leave. He couldn't believe Adrian wanted to marry him without giving him any time off. Adrian tried to argue. He hadn't taken a vacation in 4 years either. There were too many things that required Daniel's help. Like finding a blue tie? That was an accident. What about his brother's birthday gift that he had to arrange at the last minute? Daniel was getting angrier the more he thought about it. For years, Adrian had been completely helpless in his personal life. He even needed someone to peel his shrimp for him. Adrian begged for forgiveness. He promised he would change, but he would stand firm on the no vacation policy. Mr. Gao, the new manager, was being introduced to Adrian by Nina. They saw the scene through the office blinds. Mr. Gao asked if the boss was very strict. Nina glanced inside. She said he wouldn't believe it, but the one getting scolded was their boss. Leo held a grudge. As revenge, he intercepted Mr. Huang on his way to Adrian's office. He told him about the secret stash of cherries under the coffee table. He said Adrian was hiding them from him. This was what it felt like to be loved. Mr. Huang was deeply moved. Leo was so thoughtful. He even remembered a plate of fruit for him. He cleared his throat and tried to act casual. He said he would eat them. Leo nodded. As he was leaving, he remembered something else. He said it was strange that everyone was asking about his crush on him. He wondered if Adrian had said something. He told him not to worry about it. Mr. Huang reassured him. He said he wasn't bothered by it. It was Leo's right to like him. He didn't say this out loud because of the open office. He just patted Leo's shoulder. He said Leo worked hard. He would take him out to dinner sometime. Leo's eyes lit up. He thanked him profusely. He saw Mr. Huang enter the office where Adrian was writing something with a serious expression. He asked what he was calculating. Adrian said he was calculating if Daniel had enough vacation days to get married. Mr. Huang stated that at this rate, Daniel wouldn't marry him even next year. Adrian nodded. He said next year's vacation days could be taken in advance. Mr. Huang had been paying more attention to Leo lately. He already enjoyed ordering him around. It felt like getting a small victory over the stingy boss. Now his heart ached for the overworked boy. He continued to send Leo on errands. He asked for a bubble tea with coconut jelly. Nina, Mr. Huang's actual assistant, was happy to have less work. Mr. Gao questioned this arrangement. He asked what she did if Leo did all her work. She smiled. She said she accompanied Mr. Gao, of course. She liked working with handsome leaders, especially ones who looked like famous actors. Daniel was a little annoyed. Leo was technically his subordinate. Mr. Huang was always borrowing him. It was inconvenient. He had heard from Adrian that Leo liked Mr. Huang, but romance shouldn't interfere with work. Adrian stroked his chin. He said Daniel had a point. He suggested transferring Leo to Mr. Huang permanently. Daniel asked what Nina would do. Leo's skills weren't enough to threaten her position. Adrian reconsidered. Then he would have one less assistant. It would look bad. He decided to hire another one. Daniel's reaction was swift. He said he didn't want another assistant. He was more familiar with Leo. Adrian hesitated. He was worried Daniel was overworked. This was an opportunity to hire someone more competent. It would lighten his burden. Daniel felt a surge of panic. A competent assistant would threaten his position. He asked if his work had been subpar lately. Why did Adrian want to hire someone else? He immediately regretted his words. Who complains about having too little work? He was being irrational. Adrian didn't catch on. He reassured him that his salary wouldn't change. He would still be the senior assistant. Daniel wanted to bang his head against the wall. He said it wasn't about the salary. If Adrian wanted to hire someone, he should. A new, competent employee would be good for the office. Adrian insisted it was to give him a break. Daniel shot back that if he wanted to give him a break, he should approve his vacation time. He wanted to knock some sense into his boss. But the blinds were open. He restrained himself. Adrian sighed dramatically. He said Daniel knew he couldn't function without him. He was helpless in his personal life. He always made him work late because he wanted his company. Daniel snorted. He asked if he used that line on all his flings. Adrian swore he had only ever said it to Daniel. Only him he wanted by his side 24/7. Daniel was secretly pleased but didn't show it. He said there was no such thing as a 24/7 job. Adrian whispered that there was. He could marry him and be promoted to the boss's wife. 24/7 work, and he'd get half his assets. Daniel said he would consider it. But it wasn't about the money. He calculated the dates. His heat was approaching. Honestly, once you've tasted the real thing, nothing else compares. No toy was as good as Adrian himself. He wanted to be held, caressed, and marked again. But first, he had to scare Adrian a little. He held up his phone. He asked what it was. Adrian said it was a phone. Daniel shook his head. It was a phone containing the contact information of all of Adrian's ex-lovers. Adrian paled. Daniel smiled. He said while he had records of all the breakups, only Adrian knew if they were truly over. His condition for marriage was that he would be the only one. He had many candidates for marriage. But Daniel also had a plan B. Leo was ecstatic about his dinner plans with Mr. Huang. He checked Adrian's schedule. The day after tomorrow, Adrian had a charity gala. He definitely wouldn't take Leo. He suggested they go for barbecue. Mr. Huang agreed. He told him to send him the address of a place he liked. Leo was overjoyed. All his fatigue from overtime vanished. Because they shared a secret, he felt much closer to Mr. Huang. The manager even bought him bubble tea sometimes. Even though Leo thought coconut jelly in milk tea was blasphemy, he decided to get something from his cousin as well. He suggested they could sneak back into the office later. He had the key to Adrian's liquor cabinet. They could have a private party in his office. Mr. Huang had apparently forgotten the consequences of a drunk Leo. He agreed readily. He thought Leo was a bit clumsy, but very charming. Maybe something could develop between them. He mentioned that Leo had said he looked like a famous actor from a drama. Adrian scoffed. He said the year before, Leo had said he looked like another actor. This year, it was a different one. Mr. Huang wondered if that meant he liked the first actor best. Adrian said no, his favorite was Cha Eun-woo. Mr. Huang was undeterred. He said beauty was in the eye of the beholder. Maybe his tastes had changed. A beta could still have children. He just hoped they wouldn't be as silly as him. Adrian waved his hand. He said Leo's foolishness was acquired. His father had hit him too much. He had smashed his uncle's Rolex trying to crack a walnut. Adrian had a sense of responsibility. He had to take care of him. Mr. Huang was suspicious. He asked if Adrian had put him up to it. Adrian said he had merely offered some suggestions. It was Leo who had insisted on trying it. Besides, he was taking care of him, giving him a salary for buying bubble tea. What a kind cousin. Mr. Huang changed the subject. He asked if the kind cousin had managed to win over Daniel yet. Adrian was speechless. He said he was close, but Daniel was still hung up on that other alpha. He called him his plan B. He swore that if he ever found that man, he would beat him up. Mr. Huang asked what was making Adrian so gloomy. Before he could answer, he answered himself. It was love. Adrian sighed. Then he asked what was making him so happy. He smiled broadly. It was love, mutual affection that grew over time. He asked if Adrian was jealous. Adrian put the plan to transfer Mr. Huang to India back on his agenda. Adrian was now stuck to Daniel like glue. He was more like an assistant than Daniel was. He was constantly asking if he needed water or a break. Daniel got annoyed. He told him to go do something by himself. He asked if he hadn't assigned him enough work. Adrian whined, asking if he was already tired of him before they were even married. Daniel laughed in exasperation. He told him to go sign the documents on his desk. Now, Adrian saluted and hurried off. Leo commented on his behavior. He said he was like a dog that had seen a bone. Daniel was exhausted. He buried his head in his arms. He asked what the date was. Leo told him it was the 18th. He subconsciously touched the back of his neck. His heat was coming. He checked his drawer for suppressants. No wonder he was so tired. He told Leo to go to the gala with Adrian. He wanted to go home and sleep. Leo shook his head frantically. He had a dinner date with Mr. Huang, and he had promised to raid Adrian's liquor cabinet. That was a joke. Daniel asked if he was dating Mr. Huang. Leo said they were just friends. He said if he were to date, he would prefer a beta. He couldn't smell their pheromones. Adrian wore a gray suit that day. The long-lost blue tie was perfectly knotted. His hair was impeccably styled. Daniel was very pleased. The gala was the usual affair. Networking and drinking. Daniel drank as little as possible. Alcohol could reduce the effectiveness of his suppressants. He also had to fend off approaching omegas. Adrian was a prime catch. He was a little proud, but also a little jealous. He was constantly, secretly jealous. An omega asked him why Adrian didn't have a date. Was he single? Daniel thought, "Are you blind? I'm his date." He replied that Mr. White preferred to keep his personal life private. And so did his assistant. Adrian's focus was entirely on Daniel. He was still worried about the other alpha contacting him. He was on high alert. Daniel's heat was always punctual. It would probably start tonight. He wished he were the only alpha within 100 miles. Leaning in close, he could already smell the fruity scent from Daniel's neck. It mixed with the alcohol in the air, creating a sweet, intoxicating aroma. And Daniel would smile at him. He wanted to hide him away from everyone. This omega was radiating signs of impending heat. By the time they reached Daniel's apartment, Adrian was in agony, especially in the enclosed space of the car. Daniel was leaning on his shoulder with his eyes closed. He wanted to mark him so badly. Both of them started to speak at the same time. Adrian cleared his throat and told Daniel to go first. Daniel moved closer. His lips brushed against Adrian's ear. His pheromones were everywhere. Adrian could barely breathe. He asked if Adrian still wanted to come in for a bit. Adrian's heart skipped a beat. Was this what he thought it was? Daniel turned and started walking up the stairs. He said if he didn't want to, that was fine. Adrian called out that he did. He really wanted to. He asked if he should buy some condoms before coming up. Daniel didn't answer. He just kept walking. He took out his phone and told his driver to go home. He wasn't coming back tonight. He was tempted to go buy condoms. But he was afraid Daniel would change his mind and lock him out. Being overwhelmed by passion was rare for him. He seemed impulsive, but all his actions were calculated. Only with Daniel did he lose all sense of reason. One word from him and he was hooked. Daniel stood at the door. He said that if he came in, he would no longer be his boss. Did he understand? Adrian said he understood. He would be his husband. He couldn't resist pushing him inside and locking the door. He didn't want anyone else to smell his omega scent. Daniel backed away. The suppressants and alcohol had worn off. He wasn't planning on taking any more. There was a willing alpha right in front of him. The tall alpha looked down at him. His perfectly styled hair was a mess. A few strands fell across his forehead. He looked incredibly sexy. Daniel grabbed his tie. The blue one. He pulled him down for a kiss. This night felt familiar. Adrian whispered for him to relax. He promised he wouldn't hurt him. Daniel remembered he had said the same thing last time, and he had still been very rough. He protected his stomach. He asked him to be gentle. Adrian was confused. He asked what last time he was talking about. Daniel complained that there was no other alpha. It was always him. He accused Adrian of forbidding him from dating, yet not loving him himself. He stroked Adrian's messy hair. His eyes were soft and hazy. He said he should have waited longer. It was Adrian's fault for rushing him. He asked if he would really marry him. Daniel was also capable of calculating risks. He knew how many of the company's secrets he held, how many of Adrian's personal connections he managed. Adrian would be afraid of him leaking them. He couldn't and wouldn't let him go. He used a high salary to keep him instead of love. He should have waited. He wanted to buy the condo closest to Adrian's. He wanted to spring the trap when Adrian was completely dependent on him. But he couldn't wait any longer, because Adrian had proposed. He complained that he only ever had one option. Adrian's heart was about to explode. It wasn't about company secrets. It wasn't about work getting in the way. Those were just excuses for his inability to live without him. They were boss and subordinate, friends, partners in hardship. But the step to lovers was a difficult one. If it weren't for Plan B, Adrian might never have acted. They could have remained in this ambiguous state forever. Both of them were too cautious. They wouldn't risk anything that might damage their relationship. Adrian confessed that he loved him. He wanted to marry him. No one else would do. He would never get tired of looking at him. As he said this, Daniel was fully in his heat. He took Adrian's hand and placed it on his lower abdomen. He said he believed him. He tilted his head back, exposing his neck. He told him to mark him. Adrian was ecstatic. He wanted to hang a banner at the company entrance. Congratulations on the successful office romance. The boss has married his assistant. Daniel was pressed beneath him. He buried his face in a pillow. His bare neck was completely exposed. He was like a helpless little animal, flushed pink. He tearfully clung to Adrian's hand. Adrian nipped at his scent gland. He heard him whimper. He soothed him, saying he was his little follower. He would take him wherever he went. He kissed his cheek. As the heat subsided, Daniel's reason returned. He said he wanted a vacation. Adrian's shoulders slumped. He hugged him pitifully. He asked if his confession of love still counted. If not, he would drag him to work right now. Daniel nodded. He said Adrian had to spend his heats with him from now on. Otherwise, he would threaten to resign. Leo woke up. He looked at his wrist. No watch. The bed was too hard. His own mattress was thick and soft. He turned over. Mr. Huang was sleeping next to him. He was handsome even when asleep. He looked like a K-drama lead. Tall and well-built. It was enough to make one's heart race, especially when sleeping in the same bed. Wait, the same bed? Leo fell out of bed with a loud thud. He woke Mr. Huang up. Mr. Huang peered over the edge of the bed at him. He asked if he was awake. Leo whimpered and hugged himself. He stammered, asking where his clothes were. Mr. Huang explained patiently. He had gotten drunk and thrown up. His clothes were soaking in a basin. He asked why they were sleeping together. He had refused to leave. And Mr. Huang was worried he would hurt himself, so they slept together. Leo asked weakly if it was just sleeping. He asked why his butt hurt. Mr. Huang was exasperated. He said it was because he had just fallen out of bed. He hadn't touched him. He told him to stop pulling the blanket off the bed. If he was cold, he should get back in. Leo climbed back into bed. He took a moment to process. He remembered what he had done last night. He apologized profusely. He promised to drink less in the future. Mr. Huang thought about the long night he had, cleaning up the mess in Adrian's office, carrying a drunk and unruly Leo home, giving him a bath and putting him to bed. He sighed. If it wasn't for the fact that he thought Leo liked him so much, he would have left him on the street. He composed himself. He decided to have a serious talk with Leo. He asked if he remembered what he did last night. Leo nodded sincerely. He said he remembered. He shouldn't have tried to measure his parts with his mouth. He had violated his personal privacy. He asked if he had hurt him. Mr. Huang gritted his teeth. He said it was still fully functional. He asked if he knew what he did wrong. Leo thought for a moment. He said he shouldn't have projected his own desires onto others. Mr. Huang told himself not to get angry with Leo. His main point was that Leo's behavior was too forward. Even when drunk and even with someone he liked. Leo quickly apologized. He said he was drunk. He thought he was with his ex-boyfriend. Mr. Huang paused. Ex-boyfriend? He had never mentioned one. He asked if Leo still had feelings for him. He thought he was overcome with passion for him. Leo said there were no feelings left, but it had been a long time. He said he remembered it was him at first, but then things got blurry. Mr. Huang was stunned. Was Leo some kind of player? He didn't care who he slept with? He asked Leo what his feelings were for him. Leo was confused. He said they were friends. He asked what was wrong. He asked about the secret he was supposed to keep. Leo slapped the blanket. He said he had to thank him for that. But the secret didn't matter anymore. He could see those two were about to get together. Daniel wouldn't kill him for telling now. Mr. Huang felt like he was going to cough up blood. He asked if the secret was Daniel's. Leo confirmed it. The mark on Daniel's neck was from Adrian. He burrowed back under the covers. He said he wanted to take a day off. He asked if he could sleep a little longer. Mr. Huang just told him to sleep. He lay back down as well. He felt like he was still dreaming. So it wasn't love? It wasn't love at all. Mr. Gao asked why no one was at work today. Nina explained they were all out. Within 10 minutes, the whole company knew Adrian had marked Daniel. The mark on his neck was vicious. His pheromones were as strong as if Adrian were there himself. Everyone gave him a wide berth. No one was surprised. Mr. Gao asked why they had both been absent yesterday. Were they a couple? Everyone was in on it except Mr. Gao. Honestly, Daniel wanted to wear his collar again. But Adrian had thrown a fit. He had reluctantly settled for a large bandage. He hadn't dared use blockers. He complained that this was too conspicuous. It was affecting his work. He knew that at least 5 employees had been staring at his neck. He thought Adrian's way of showing off was childish. But he was also enjoying it, especially when Adrian held his hand and said he wanted everyone to know. He asked if they could get married today. Daniel pulled his hand away. He said Adrian hadn't even proposed again properly. He noticed a gloomy presence in the otherwise happy office. He told Adrian to behave. This was the office. He asked Leo why he looked so down. Leo flinched at the sudden attention from his future sister-in-law. He forced a smile. He said he had hurt a fragile heart yesterday. Adrian patted his shoulder. He said he had some news. Leo said he already knew. Adrian said he and Daniel were dating. Leo said he knew. Adrian said they were absent yesterday because, well, he knew. Leo exploded. He shouted that he already knew. If he said another word, he would. He realized he had no leverage over his boss. His voice trailed off. He would not put ice in his bubble tea. Adrian laughed and left the room, spreading the news of his new relationship. Daniel asked what was wrong. Was it Mr. Huang? Had he thrown up on him? Leo whispered that it was that and more. He had some misunderstandings. He thought he liked him. Daniel said so it was just a rumor. He didn't like his type. He asked who he did like. Leo slapped his thigh. Cha Eun-woo. He said it wasn't that the other actor was bad. He just hadn't expected it. He decided to pretend he didn't know to save him the embarrassment. Daniel said he was very considerate. He also said he thought he could smell Mr. Huang's pheromones. He wasn't sure. It might have been a drunken hallucination. Maybe it was the red wine? But how could a beta smell it? Adrian proudly displayed his cherries on the table. He told Mr. Huang he had great news. Mr. Huang just sighed. Adrian announced that he and Daniel were officially together. He thought he should share his good fortune with the employees. Maybe a red envelope bonus? Mr. Huang sighed again. Adrian took that as agreement. He said he would send it out. He asked for advice on how to propose to Daniel. It had to be romantic. Mr. Huang sighed a third time. Adrian thought maybe he could hide the ring in a cake. Daniel liked ice cream cake. Mr. Huang couldn't take it anymore. He asked if Adrian could show some concern for him. He had been sighing for the past 10 minutes. He looked at Adrian with a mix of sadness and anger. Adrian quickly covered his eyes. He didn't want to decipher his emotional pie chart. He said he knew. It was a broken heart. He told him to get over it. He hadn't lost anything. Mr. Huang shook his head. He had lost a pair of pants. Adrian suddenly asked what was making him sigh. Before he could answer, he answered for him. It was love. Mr. Huang felt a sense of déjà vu. Then he asked what was making him so happy. He smiled broadly. It was love. Mutual affection that grew over time. He asked if Mr. Huang was jealous. A rumor spread that Mr. Huang had angrily requested a transfer to the India branch. Leo reached for a file. Mr. Huang snatched it away before he could touch it. He told Nina to take it to Mr. Gao. Nina rolled her eyes but took the file. Leo reached for another document. He said he would shred it. Mr. Huang took it from him. He told Nina to shred it on her way. Nina agreed. Leo tried one more time. He asked if Mr. Huang wanted bubble tea. He said no, and he didn't want any snacks either. He would ask Nina if he needed anything. He told Leo to go back to his desk. He pretended to be busy. He said he had a meeting soon. Nina clicked her heels and left. She said she wouldn't run his errands. He could ask Leo. She wasn't his servant. Only the two of them were left. Mr. Huang pretended to work. Leo stood there, unsure what to do. No one spoke. After a long silence, Mr. Huang looked up. He was surprised to see Leo still standing there. He was looking down at his shoes. He chose his words carefully. He asked why he was still there. It was the wrong thing to say. It sounded harsh. Leo wrung his hands. He asked quietly why he wasn't allowed to help anymore. Did he hate him? Mr. Huang said no. But he wasn't his assistant. Nina should be doing these things. He stopped himself when he saw Leo's eyes welling up. He told him not to cry. He hadn't done anything. He was just trying to give him less work. Leo sniffled. He said he didn't mind the work. But Mr. Huang was distancing himself. Was he the only one who thought they were friends? He said he knew he was Adrian's cousin. If he continued to act this way, he would have his cousin transfer him to India. Mr. Huang was shocked. Was he being threatened? Leo's tears started to fall. He said Adrian wouldn't listen to him. He docked his pay. Daniel didn't listen to him either. He threatened him with a knife. Now he was being ignored too. He had no power over him. The most he could do was spit in his bubble tea. Mr. Huang's heart softened. His sympathy shifted back to Leo. He said he would talk to him. He just asked him not to cry. Leo knew he was being manipulative. Mr. Huang was the one who should be embarrassed. And here he was, forcing him to be friends. It was a bit shameless. But he had been an honest person for over 20 years. A little shamelessness wouldn't hurt. He had one thing to confirm. Was the scent he smelled that night really Mr. Huang's pheromones? He asked if his pheromones smelled like red wine. He said they hadn't had red wine that night. Leo wiped his tears and sat down. He asked if he had released his pheromones at him. Mr. Huang buried his face in his hands. He said it was probably inappropriate to discuss this at work. It sounded like he had been trying to seduce Leo that night, which was true. Leo rested his head on the table. He apologized. It was only the second time he had smelled an alpha's pheromones. He was just curious. The office fell silent again. If a beta could smell pheromones, the concentration must be very high. An alpha only releases that much as a mating signal. So Mr. Huang was interested in him? Leo's face burned. He finally asked if Mr. Huang was a very conservative person. Like, had it been a long time since his last encounter? Mr. Huang gritted his teeth. He said yes, but he didn't have much self-control. If Leo wasn't interested, he should stop seducing him. Leo whispered that he wasn't completely uninterested. He shyly reached for his pinky finger. He asked if he could still buy him bubble tea. Adrian was at a ring store. He got a call from Mr. Huang. He asked what he wanted. He said he had sent him pictures. He asked if Daniel would like this design. Mr. Huang just laughed maniacally. Adrian held the phone away from his ear. He asked if he was sick. He asked if anyone was buying him bubble tea. He guessed not. Then he hung up. Daniel's mother was overjoyed. She said her son had caught a big fish. She had always said that boss of his was a good man. She said she could tell by the way he looked at him. Daniel was cleaning out his closet. He was putting away his summer clothes. He said Adrian was a good man. He found Adrian's shirt. The scent was gone. But now he could just hug the real thing. He had to find a time to return it. They were already familiar with each other's parents. Adrian often invited him over during the holidays. They would visit relatives and clients together. He knew all their preferences. Adrian's father liked bonsai. His mother liked jade. His uncle collected watches. He brought gifts every year. The only thing he didn't know was that Leo was his cousin. He was still annoyed about that. Why hadn't he told him? It had made him jealous for no reason. Adrian had insisted on a formal meeting with his parents. Even though they had met many times, he said it was different now that they were getting married. He had to ask for their blessing before he could propose. He stood at their dinner table dressed formally. He looked like he was at a ribbon-cutting ceremony. He had brought a mountain of gifts. He was so nervous he could barely knock on the door. He held Daniel's hand and whispered that he was nervous. His palms were sweaty. Daniel thought he was adorable. He had asked him 5 times what color tie to wear. He told him not to be nervous. He loved him, so they would love him too. Adrian asked if he meant it. that it was the first time he had said it so directly. He said he loved him too. Daniel's father witnessed this exchange with wide eyes. He wondered if his son was into this type of forward person. Adrian was well prepared. He knew Daniel's mother was a housewife who loved to cook. He brought her a special pot. He knew his father was a professor who loved tea. He brought him a rare blend. He was confident he would pass the written exam. He was just nervous about the oral exam.